House Oversight and Investigation Subcommittee. All this on the company's recall of millions of vehicles. Congressman Tim Murphy, chairman of the subcommittee, joins us now with a preview. And every time we have another hearing, Congressman, we have more information. With the last 3 months and everything we know, what do we need to find out today to move the ball down the field, do you think?
Well, the report that we're going to be reviewing today with Ms. Barr and Mr. Lucas claims that there was a culture there of incompetence and sloppiness within the company. And yet, after firing 15 employees and having some other meetings and supposedly putting into place 90 recommendations from the report, Ms. Barr is telling us that the culture of the company has changed. Look, a lot of Americans have had financial issues with their cars being damaged, being told that things are okay for a long period of time, only to find out they weren't. Several people are dead. Lots of people are injured. I'm not sure it's enough just to say, take our word for it, we're going to put these recommendations in place, and after changing less than 1/100th of 1% of the employees, things are going to be different. I don't know yet, so I don't know where things stand yet for safety of American drivers.
Yeah. We were talking earlier that there's still, these cars are still out on the road. I mean, do we need to continue to tell people that if it's been recalled, they need to get this fixed? I mean, it seems like we're still in a position to prevent some bad things from happening if we do all that we can to do that.
Sure, not only Motors, but other car companies are now putting forth some recalls, perhaps because they're fearful that some mistakes have been made, and they're looking at maybe the government's going to put the spotlight on them, as it should be. But anybody who drives a General Motors car, one should take very seriously those recall notices, especially with the switches, and understand that this link that GM knew about, but said it did know about for a decade, the link between the switches and shutting off the airbags is a very, very serious problem.
Chairman, are you satisfied that whatever systems have been put in place within these automobile companies to find these things and alert people are in place the way they should be currently?
Well, that's a series of questions we are going to ask Ms. Barr today. How much can a CEO really push the people below her to make sure they change that whole culture? And that's the crux of this. This isn't just that one or two people may have made a mistake one day and a slip-up occurred. There's a culture within General Motors which made this pervasive, despite lots of warning signs and lots of questions from the outside. How is she going to change that? That's going to be key issues.
Chairman, we have Bob Nardelli here.
I think the tone at the top that she's setting is going to help that. Now, you're trying to overcome years of, as she's talked about, either bureaucracy or lack of attention to it. But I think if the tone at the top is right, I think it'll start to penetrate through the organization.
As somebody who's run an automobile company and other big companies,
yes,
is there an argument to be made that these institutions are either too big to manage, too siloed, structured in a way where you at the top can't figure out what's going on, even forget about 5 rungs below you, but even 2 rungs below you?
Well, again, I grew up underneath Jack Welch, and he was a great mentor and role model, and that just didn't happen. I mean, you don't allow yourself to be insulated from those things. You're always working 2 to 3 levels down. You're very involved in the micromanagement of those companies. And even then, you may miss some things, but not something as significant as this, Andrew.
Right. Congressman, it seems to be with companies like General Motors, it's expensive to do this, and there's always going to be the attitude, well, let's just, let's try to make sure that we don't overdo our efforts. Are there the existing laws on the books enough to force companies to make the hard decisions here? Are they already there, or are they just not enforced, or do we need new laws about that?
Well, that's one of the questions we need to ask. Was there clear enough in terms of the TREAD Act to push GM to make its admissions and clarify that? But understand this, you can't legislate common sense, and you can't somehow mandate a sense of morality. If that is missing from a corporation, regardless of the strength of a law, people are still going to make mistakes. And that's going to come, with all due response to Jack Welch. He's also said you can't take care of it just by putting a plaque on the wall saying this is our mission, this is our mandate. It has to be constant monitoring on several layers of supervisors. I don't know if 15 employees is enough, and we need to find out how far is she going to change that to return the safety to America's vehicles.
Chairman Murphy, thank you. We'll be watching. Appreciate your time this morning. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.